This is a secret office. Nobody's seen this before.
Something really big happened when no one was paying attention. What happened is your mom got internet access. If you look at the habits of smart people, they're not sitting down for appointment TV at 8:30 on Thursday nights anymore. That what happened is if you look at direct mail response rates or TV advertising recall rates, if you look at just about anything that marketers measure, what you see is that something has changed probably forever.
And people don't really listen to radio ads anymore. They have Sirius satellite radio. They don't really watch TiVo anymore. They're TV anymore. They've got TiVo and they've got multiple channels to choose from. They don't really watch newspaper ads anymore. They kind of, use their RSS feeder to sort of grab the interesting articles. They go to Google, they go to their RSS reader, they go to the social media sites, and that's the natural way in which people learn and shop. And there's all this interesting new marketing stuff going on, and I think inbound marketing is an interesting way to sort of sum up this societal change in the way that people sort of take advantage of this changing nature in society to get found and fill their funnel with leads.
We need to try to convince management that the ways we're measuring success today aren't necessarily the right ways to measure. Measuring on leads and clipbooks are not going to be effective in the future. Here are some things you can measure, though. You can measure how many people are exposed to your ideas, how many people have downloaded something for free on your site, how many people have shared that with somebody else, which you can measure through blog links, how many people are talking about your products and services and company and people on blogs. You can measure that.
Nowadays, when people think of content marketing, the way they should be thinking is about what kind of content can we create to engage several different audiences at once. How can we create content that is going to be newsworthy, compelling, engage people, something that potentially people can use on their own for their own purposes, maybe remix it for that purpose. Being able to create content that people want to share is a way to magnify, amplify the amount of buzz that your brand is going to get out on the web.
Some of the things that, like in the future, like maybe how PR firms maybe should evolve, would be maybe less around sort of just introducing and making relationships, and trying to pitch individual stories, but maybe more around helping the company craft their story, helping the company create good content. And maybe, an interesting service would be, PR firms can become experts at, creating videos or podcasts or setting up blogs or things like that.
Now, the boldest thing I want to argue to you today is this, that every 30 to 50 to 70 years, an industrial revolution takes place. And I think we're living in one right this minute.
In these sort of tough economic times, what do you say to businesses and brands in terms of whether they should be experimenting? Can they afford to do so?
I would say they can't afford not to. Because economic times are not that their consumers, A, are online. That's where they are. That's where their customers are. That's where they're sharing information and connecting with each other. And B, the low cost of entry, sort of, there's no excuse not to. It's much more of a cultural, organizational shift than it is a financial burden, I think.
Great. Sir, same question to you. Can businesses and brands, can they afford to experiment right now?
Well, predictably, I have a similar answer, and I think you can almost rephrase the question and ask, can you afford not to?
We have to start paying attention to what the content is. People who are under the false impression that content fairies come and sprinkle this stuff all over a blog. It's hard to write all the time, I get that. There's other ways to get involved. You don't have to write a blog. Want to get really scary? Go out on the web and listen. There's lots of people talking about you. You don't have to blog at all. But if you want to get super cool about this, listen to what people are asking for that might possibly be solved by your products and services.
And social media really gives you an opportunity to engage with people on an individual basis, and that's true whether you're a B2B company or whether you're a B2C company. You're still, ultimately it's always a person that you're going to be selling something to or is going to be signing a check. Anybody who's involved in content marketing, right, is it that are you educating your audience, are you helping them, or are you interrupting them? Hold on one second.
Charlene Lee said on The Economist or whatever that social networks were going to be like air. They'd be everywhere. That sounds kind of heady, and it was the one thing that they didn't somehow put a Forrester word around, like the whole social networks would be like Forrester air. But she said that the whole social network structure will be like air. I don't think so. I think they're going to be like toilets. If you go to a hotel, I travel a real lot, so this makes much more sense to me than maybe some of you. But if I go to a hotel anywhere in the world, and it's the nicest looking, most beautiful, most wonderful hotel in the world, and they accidentally exclude a toilet from my room, not only don't I give a shit, but I can't. If you don't have social components on the websites you've chosen to make for the internet, you're building hotel rooms without toilets. USA Today has them. USA Today has comments. They have conversations. Fastcompany.com remade themselves into a social platform pretending to be a magazine. The biggest, most visible things on Fast Company are things that look for two-way conversations with you.